Hi, Hype students. Here's Pastor Kent with another Hype Weekly update. I was super excited to see you guys all last Sunday night coming out to our evening program as we continued our series called Identity Crisis. If you weren't able to join us last Sunday night, we had a testimony night with one of our Hype leaders, Amber Heinrichsen, my dear wife. And it was a pleasure to hear her story, and hopefully you were blessed as well if you were there to just hear some of how God has been working in her life and through her life and bringing her to where she is today. If you weren't able to join us, I just want to give a quick recap of her testimony. Amber shared three key parts of her life before Christ, her conversion story, and her life after accepting Jesus and having a personal relationship with Him. In her life before Christ, she talked about growing up and moving around a lot and having a lot of surface friendships and feeling kind of lonely because she was constantly moving a lot, and with that, also having a fear of people. In her conversion story, she talked about how there's key Awana leaders who and key speakers who spoke the gospel to the Awana group that she was a part of, and there was a night where she just felt super convicted of her sin and God really calling her into a relationship with Him. And it was some key Awana leaders that helped her do that. And then in her life since conversion and her growth in Jesus since the 6th grade, she talked about some hard moments in life, especially dealing with a close friend and a lot of hurt that happened to them, and God allowing that to happen and being frustrated with God and not really understanding why a loving and all-powerful and all-knowing God would allow such a bad thing to happen to one of her close friends. And then she talked about how God just was faithful to her and kept her close, and even when she was upset and maybe mad and didn't understand why God did some things, God kept her close and revealed why He did and allowed certain things to happen later on in life. And if you want to listen to the rest of her story, it's on our podcast and the link that will be with this video. Some announcements that we have going forward. High school students, this is the last week to sign up for the high school community group. I hope you can join us for the How to Grow class that we'll be participating alongside with the Crosspoint Church. And then also next Sunday, we're going to be closing our series Identity Crisis. We're going to have a guest speaker come in, a good friend of Amber and I's, and we're super excited to have our guest speaker come in and talk to our student ministry. But before I let you go, I want to encourage you with this verse, and this was the theme of Amber's story, and when she was talking about identity and putting identity in herself, and that was something that she struggled with, and how she puts her identity in Christ and focusing on Him and reading the Word and engaging and praying with Him throughout her day. This passage came to mind, and it's about John the Baptist when he was approached by his disciples about Jesus baptizing, and people were going to him instead of to John. And basically it's an attack on John's identity right now and his pride. And John says this simple verse. He says in John chapter 3, verse 30, he says, "He must increase, but I must decrease." So John having this right perspective of, hey, his life is not to live and glorify himself. It is rather to live and glorify Jesus Christ. And I felt like that was a good summary of Amber's testimony last Sunday night, and I pray that it is our goal through the rest of this week and through the rest of our lives to decrease because Christ must increase. Thank you for watching, and I hope you are encouraged, and I hope you have a great week in the Lord, and I can't wait to see you until next Sunday. So please come out, please join us, and I'll see you then. God bless.